1-866-942 and 1-866-6775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today, National Ex-Spouse Day today. Ooh. Ow! Yeah, I don't know if we're going to celebrate National Ex-Spouse Day. National Pecan Day, maybe. National Dolphin Day. I guess we better just stick with Good Friday and enjoy that. Those of you that are celebrating today. Moving right along. Checking out the markets for you this morning. Well, I don't know if the markets are even open. They're not open today, are they? Now, I don't think we're seeing a whole lot of activity on the markets because it is Good Friday. They actually take the day off for the benefit of Good Friday and the Easter holiday. So we're not going to check that for you at all. Holy cow, if we don't check the markets, what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to chat about, yeah, it's an unfortunate topic, but it is that time of year. We can chat a little bit about taxes. It is that season, once again, tax time. Getting a little feedback here in the headset this morning, so we'll see if we've got that working properly. Double check that with our engineers, the great John taking care of us this morning, as he so frequently does. So we'll just check that out real quick. So moving right along, 5 surprising things you can deduct on your income taxes would be our first topic of the day. So swimming pools. Context is everything when it comes to deductions, especially when expenses are being characterized as being paid for medical purposes. Think about that one. If you need a pool for medical purposes, that is an allowable expense. One question last-minute Americans will be asking before the April 18th deadline this year: can I deduct this? That will be their questions. They may be shocked by how often the answer is yes, and the sheer variety of expenses they can deduct. Most people know that business-related items are usually tax deductible, no matter how odd. That could include body oil for a masseuse or professional bodybuilder. It could be, what are some of the other fun ones? We'll move right along and get some more of these for you. So let's think about that. Swimming pools. So if it is a medical need, swimming pools is possible. Abortion. This may be the most politically and ideologically divisive of all deductions. The IRS says you can include in medical expenses the amount you pay for a legal abortion. So an abortion, which can cost from $500 to $1,000, could be deductible if it was included with other medical expenses. Taxpayers can include in medical expenses the amount they pay to purchase a pregnancy test kit to determine if they're pregnant, and the cost of a sterilization or vasectomy mastectomy. When it comes to all medical expenses, you cannot include those that were paid by insurance companies or other sources, and the total medical expenses in question need to exceed 10% of your adjusted gross income. This falls to 7.5% for those who are 65 or older. Gambling losses, that is something that you can deduct. If you have gambling gains, you can deduct a large number of expenses to go to Vegas up to the point where it offsets much or all of the gains, according to one financial planner. You can deduct your losses, but no more than your winnings in that tax year. Gambling income includes winnings from lotteries, raffles, horse races, and casinos, and fair market value of prizes such as cars and trips. Service dogs and dog food. Man's best friend can be another tax-deductible expense. I had a caller one time that, with a warehouse, deduct the cost of buying guard dogs. Now, it's a business expense. I don't even want to go into this one, so I'm going to skip. We'll just leave it at 4. That's more than enough. Surprising items that you can deduct. Some last-minute tips. Let's continue with our tips for tax day. Think about a few more of these. Choose to deduct state and local taxes if you live in a state with low or no personal income tax, or you owe little or nothing to the state tax collector. Be aware that our beloved Congress made the federal income tax deduction for general state and local sales taxes permanent. Therefore, you can have the option of deducting either state and local sales taxes or state and local income taxes, but not both. And you know, here in the state of confusion, we love our taxes, so we actually get both of those. You have to decide which one you will deduct. Again, you do not get to deduct both of them. Moving right along on our list here this morning. Where'd my list go? I've got to get that back on the screen here. Make a deductible IRA contribution. So we've talked about this one in the past as well. Again, and with all these tax items that I'm giving you, these are all ideas for you so that you can go to your tax professional with questions. And make sure, or if you're doing them on your own, make sure that you're getting these in your tax preparation software. But if you've not yet made a deductible traditional IRA contribution for the 2016 tax year, you can do so between now and the tax filing deadline of April 18th and claim the resulting write-off on your 2016 return. You can potentially make a deductible contribution of up to $5,500 or $6,500 if you are age 50 or older as of 12/31/16. Same for your spouse. There is a catch. You must have enough 2016 earned income from jobs, self-employment, or alimony received to equal or exceed your IRA contributions for the 2016 tax year. If you are married and either spouse or both can provide the necessary earned income, the other catch, deductible IRA contributions are phased out if last year's income was too high. So make sure you check with your tax professional on that one as well. Small business owners, you can establish a SEF, that simplified employee pension. Now remember, with all of these items, again, the concept here is for you to know about them and take advantage of them if you need to for backdating them. You see, the IRA, the 401k, the SEP, there is a better solution for every one of those. The issue is they're not backdatable. So if you're looking for a much better solution than the IRA or the 401k or the SEP, again, my opinion, I would highly recommend you have a consultation with, we had Brett Barber in here earlier talking about short-term, high-yield investments, and Al Manfrey's been here talking about the longer-term, high-yield, safe, secure investments. Now, if you're procrastinating on your taxes, here's a few items that you want to make sure you avoid. These are some of the bigger mistakes. Number one, don't forget to sign your tax return. You might wonder how anyone could forget to sign their tax form, but this simple process is one of the most common tax mistakes, according to the IRS. Just like forgetting to sign a check or a contract, it means your return isn't valid. Usually there isn't a penalty or interest associated with this error, since you've already included a check or electronic payment if you owed. So the IRS will just send a notice asking for a valid signature. But it will delay the processing of your return. If you're getting a refund, that too will be delayed. So double check, triple check. Make sure that you signed and completed the e-signature process before filing your return. Math errors are also a very common mistake made by folks in a hurry. Fortunately, for most people, the IRS corrects any miscalculations, so there's no need for filing an amended return. But these mistakes can mean the difference between you thinking you're getting a refund and the reality that you actually owe taxes. So be sure to check your calculations carefully. One way to help you avoid math errors is to file electronically so the calculations are done for you. So long to that number 2 pencil, so long to the calculator. You didn't account for all your income. Did you have a side hustle? Did you have a side hustle early last year? A freelance design gig for a friend's business? If so, you're going to need to account for it regardless of whether you received a W-2 or 1099 from whomever paid you. That's because while there's an IRS threshold for filing these documents by employers, there's no similar threshold for claiming the income. Income is income is income. If you made money and don't report it, the IRS catches it. It's going to cost you penalties and interest. So just make sure you write it down, let them know. You forgot deductions or tax credit. Easy to forget these things when you're in a hurry, but they can end up saving you some serious money and are well worth the extra time to figure out if you qualify. So if you're just claiming the standard deduction because you're under the gun, you might want to take a deep breath and check out TurboTax's list of 10 commonly overlooked tax deductions that can keep you from overpaying the tax man. You filed for an extension but didn't understand the rules. Filing for an extension is a great idea if you're down to the wire and don't really understand your tax situation. But remember that an extension gives you an extra 6 months to file your paperwork, but not an extra 6 months to pay any taxes due. So if you're confused, tax pros recommend doing a quick calculation of your taxes, filing for the extension, and making any required payment of taxes you think you owe. And what if you didn't bother to request an extension? Oh, shame on you. That's a biggie. It's so simple to do, or at least it's simple to hire somebody else to do. Either way, make sure you get that taken care of. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Is your first home within your grasp? We'll be talking about that when we come back. Don't let compounding interest work against you. Can't pay your student loan bill? Here's some ideas for what you can do, think about. Plan on those as well. Remember, you can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
What if your family business could help clothe a less fortunate family? Or your restaurant could feed truly hungry people? What if you could help to comfort the lonely? Plant sustainable resources where nothing has ever grown before? Or make a child's lifelong wish come true? What if all you had to do was simply do nothing more than what your business already does every day? Would you do it? Introducing Processing for a Cause, a unique program that turns a percentage of your business's credit card volume into ongoing donation dollars for nonprofit organizations and foundations. Simply switch your credit card processing provider to Processing for a Cause and begin supporting a worthy cause today. The process is simple, and the cause will change lives forever. Processing for a cause.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Is your first home within your grasp? That is the subject of today's real-time real estate segment, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. So is your first home within your grasp? For the longest time, many experts doubted whether millennials, those are ages 18 to 36, valued home ownership as a part of their American dream. Looking at the latest statistics from the National Association of Realtors, we can see that old millennials, ages 25 to 36, are dominating the first-time home buyer category. Millennials, again defined as 18 to 36, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, according to NAR's latest profile in home buyers and sellers, the median age of all first-time home buyers is 31 years old. More and more old millennials are realizing that home ownership is within their reach. So we're looking at the percentage of buyers, all first-time home buyers, 100% of them, the average median age, 31. Married couples account for 56% of the home buyers in this group. Their average median age, 31. Single females, 18% of the group. They're 32 years of age, and unmarried couples, 13% of the group. They are age 28 on average, or the median. And single males, they aren't the smart ones. 11% of the group is single males. They are age 31. So you can see a common denominator there. If you're 31, you're buying a house. 2% of first-time home buyers do not fit into the categories and represent an other category. The median age of this group is 48 years old. So think about that concept as well. But so the next question we would then ask is, how much do we need to save to afford a new home? That's a big, big misconception, because there are a lot of folks out there that are still thinking that they need a lot of money to buy that first home. And it's just amazing that we spoke about this, I believe it was earlier this week, it might have been last week, that we kind of brushed through this one real quick. The idea of what the surveys say that you need to buy a new home and what you legitimately need. So we looked at a survey by Ipsos, and they found that the American public is still somewhat confused about what is required to qualify for a home mortgage loan in today's housing market. Two major misconceptions that we're going to address today. Number one is the down payment. The survey revealed that consumers overestimate the down payment funds needed to qualify for a home loan. We've talked about that so many times. According to the report, 40% of consumers think a 20% down payment is always required. In actuality, there are many loans written with a down payment of 3% or less. Many renters may actually be able to enter the housing market sooner than they ever imagined with new programs that have emerged allowing less cash out of pocket. And the other big area, FICO scores. The survey revealed that 62% of respondents believe they need excellent credit to buy a home, with 43% thinking good credit is over 780. In actuality, the average FICO scores of approved conventional and FHA mortgages are much lower. The average conventional loan closed in February had a credit score of 752, while FHA mortgages closed with a score of 686. The average across all loans closed in February was 720. So think about this concept. If you have and we know that with an FHA you can go down there's the various programs that'll go down to as low as 500 with a FICO score, 500. But 21% of the people had a FICO. This is 20% of all closed loans. This is according to Ellie Mae. 21.2% had a FICO score of 650 to 699. 650 to 699. So where do you fit in? The question that I'll share with you, and we talk about this, I think earlier this week we spoke a lot about credit and the issue that so many people have a misconception of what their credit score is. And a lot of the misconceptions come from the way the scores are reported. FICO has the ability of various different models. And depending upon what model an institution is using, that's going to get you a different score for each of the different models. So what you really need to do is get on a loan application. Call our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. They'll get you a loan application. They'll run the credit for you for free. There is something called buffering that many people are not familiar with that term, buffering. So if you're running a credit score or credit model by the same type of an industry several times within a very, very short window, 2 to 3 weeks, then they're going to buffer those together and they count as one pull. Or you can go to MyFICO and get a real FICO score, but they're probably going to only give you one score. They're going to charge you for the true FICO score. Because some of the services, again, Credit Karma, I tell people go to Credit Karma all the time. Great service, but it's not necessarily going to be the exact same score that you're going to get when you do a mortgage pull. So you have to understand that and plan for it. And just, like I say, our friends at Gold Star Mortgage, they'll do that for you for free. Even if you're a first-time buyer, they'll do it for you for free. If you've got an existing mortgage, they'll do it for you for free. They have the Adopt a Mortgage program, so that they'll consistently be looking at what your mortgage is doing. How is it performing compared to the marketplace? Those are big, important issues that you need to understand. How is your mortgage performing compared to the market? Why do we want to know that? Well, there may be some options for you to adjust. Maybe you can get rid of your mortgage insurance. Maybe at least cut your mortgage insurance in half. There are various programs for all of these things. Maybe, especially, we just got a big gift, right? Interest rates dropped again this week. They're at 4.08, paying half a point is the Freddie Mac rate for this past week. It just came out yesterday. We had been up quite a bit higher than that. We had been all the way up to 4.3, which means people are paying 4.5 to 4 3/4 for their mortgages. In many instances, that's when you need to start looking and saying, what can I do to save my family money? It doesn't matter what that means for the lender. It doesn't matter for anybody else. What can we do, or is there anything that we can do to save my family money? And that's what the Adopt a Mortgage program does. It's consistently monitoring your mortgage to say, hey, you know something, there is an opportunity here for us to make a change. Then you look at it one step further and say, what are all of my debts? What is my blended household interest rate? And not many people are talking about a blended household interest rate. I'm going to share that with you when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Blended household interest rate. We'll talk about it. Don't let compounding interest work against you. And if you can't pay your student loans, here's some thoughts for you. We'll talk about that as well. Remember, you can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, will only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Do you own real estate or have assets over $150,000? Do you know one of your heirs will be the probate courts and the IRS? If you don't have a living trust, you will go through probate. Call Heritage Financial Services toll free at 1-855-434-7400 for a free review. Check us out on Facebook, Heritage Financial Service in Lake Forest, California. That's 1-855-434-7400. Again, 1-855-434-7400. You're listening to Ron.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
What if your family business could help clothe a less fortunate family? Or your restaurant could feed truly hungry people? What if you could help to comfort the lonely? Plant sustainable resources where nothing has ever grown before? Or make a child's life wish come true? What if all you had to do was simply do nothing more than what your business already does every day? Would you do it? Introducing Processing for a Cause, a unique program that turns a percentage of your business's credit card volume into ongoing donation dollars for nonprofit organizations and foundations. Simply switch your credit card processing provider to Processing for a Cause and begin supporting a worthy cause today. The process is simple, and the cause will change lives forever. Processing for a Cause.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solution. Don't let compounding interest work against you. So there are certain credit cards is the issue right here. Some credit cards you may not want to be dealing with compounding interest working against you. If you don't have a great credit rating, you may be just stuck with using whatever credit cards you can get. But on the other hand, if there are other cards that you can use, Bank of America has a card for balance transfer, 0% interest for 18 months on an introductory rate. Then it goes to 11 to 22, depending upon your situation there. But think about that. If you've got the opportunity to save all of that money, all that interest money, instead of paying that to the banks announced earlier this month what their earnings were. And each time they announce earnings, we start hearing, that they're making boatloads of money. So I figured this morning what we would chat about is how do you fight that? How do you build against that? And one of those ideas is understanding what your blended household interest rate is. Blended household interest rate. And I'm just going to use a 400. We'll run through some numbers with you real quick here. And many instances, what we found is that there is a need to get a home equity line of credit when you buy a new house. A lot of folks are finding that that is a good tool for you. If you're in the Inland Empire, you've got some lower lending limits out there than you're going to see in Orange County, San Diego County, Los Angeles County. So the question then becomes, what do we do? How do we deal with some of these issues and still end up saving family money and understanding what our numbers are? So let's just look at hypothetically, and I like using the number because there's so many people that say, well, I've got a great interest rate on my first mortgage, yet when we look at in totality, they're not as good or not as strong as they had really thought they were going to be. So the reason that we look at that and we say, okay, what does that mean to you is you need to understand what your numbers are, what the real numbers are, and what the whole process is going to look like. Because say you've got a $400,000 first mortgage at 3.75% interest, and you use that home equity line of credit that was $50,000 and it's going up all the time, but say it's at 5 3/4. And you look at that and you say, okay, I've got an auto loan at 5.95 and another auto loan at 6.95. Those are good rates for auto loans. I know there are some that are out there for great credit risk people that are less than that. But then you look and you say you've got the average $15,000 in credit card debt spread between 15% and 30%, which is about normal, and the typical $47,000 in student loan debt at 7%. So you're looking at a blended household interest rate. When you put all those things together and weigh them out, you're looking at an interest, at a blended household interest rate, think about this one, of 4.87. Now you put all that stuff together and you're looking then at a $3,600 monthly payments, $3,600 in monthly payments. Now we just saw that yesterday Freddie Mac came out and shared that their survey was a 4.08% was the 30-year fixed rate Freddie Mac program. Okay, so what if you have that? Now that's going to get you a payment of $2,569. So you're going to really save on that. Think about that, about $1,000 a month, or a little over $1,000, $1,019 a month. I like that idea, don't you? The concept here is refinancing, restructuring, doing a household consolidation. Now, you save $1,000 a month. Because one of the big misconceptions or big issues that I hear from some folks is, well, Ron, but what if I change my 4-year auto loan to now I'm putting it into a 30-year loan? Well, I get that. I understand where you're coming from with something like that. But the real question that you have to ask is, do you really want to continue making those extra payments? What if you take that extra money that you're paying and you said, okay, I'm going to take $600 of that $1,000 in savings and apply that to the principal every month? Well, you're going to save close to 10 years on the term of your loan. So you're going to take that 30-year loan and make that into a 20-year loan by paying the extra money. That's where the beauty of these programs, these thoughts come from. That's why we talk about these all the time for you, is what can we do to help you out? How do we manage your debt in a more logical process, right? Because your house is appreciating that equity that you have in your home. It's earning you 0 rate of return. You get a 0 rate of return on home equity. It's just a mathematic function. The only reason for having that equity is a couple of things. Number one, if you're not capable of saving, and from an emotional standpoint. So if you put that money to work for you, if you let that money continue going and putting it toward these bills, look at how much better off your family will be. Now, what do you do with the other $400? Remember, I told you you're going to save over $1,000 a month. Well, you can do whatever you want with it. You can also chat with your tax people and see if that's what that effect is going to have on your taxes. Because in many, many instances, home mortgage interest is deductible. So even though you might be going from a 3.75% interest rate to a 4.08 or a 4% interest rate or 4.25, whatever you qualify for, you're only paying a portion of that if you're one of those people who have the ability of deducting your home mortgage interest. Think about that concept. Talk to your tax people. But again, how do you make an educated decision if you're not thinking or no one's sharing these different strategies with you? We want you to look and say, okay, I've got this equity and I've got these debts. How do I take equity that's making me nothing and putting it toward debts that are simply costing me money every single month? And you don't even have to have good credit to do these things. Now, here's what the process is you do this right away, take advantage of the interest rates that are here today, and then watch what happens over the next 3 to 6 months if you've paid off your debts the way we can counsel you to. Because you don't want to pay them off 100% right away, because then they're going to close those trade lines, and that's not going to help your credit scores. So you pay them down, keep some of them opened if you'll qualify with them being opened, and pay them down slowly. Get them down below that 30% so it helps your credit score. Then you look and say, okay, can I call our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage again, 800-306-1990, and restructure my debts again? And if I restructure my debts again, will I get my interest down even further? A lot of times you can do that, because when you have a lot of debt, and we're going to pay off a lot of debt, generally that's going to come with a higher interest rate as well. So let's get or lower FICO score, which drives a higher interest rate. So let's get the FICO score up. We'll put you on a path. This is called financial planning using debts. There's a lot of financial planners out there. They all talk about, okay, if you've got $100,000 or $200,000 in savings and put that to work, this is what it's going to do for you. The thing is they don't want to talk about the fact that as Americans, we don't have $100,000 or $200,000 in savings. We've looked at so many reports. The Federal Reserve talks about the reports where we've got less than $1,000 if we had a catastrophe. These are issues that we want to think about. That is the Your Credit Matters segment. We're going to continue our conversation on this when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We'll also talk about what do you do if you can't pay your student loan debt. We'll have some ideas for you there as well. Remember, you can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, and connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Isn't it time you found out the truth about FHA-insured home equity conversion? No, it's not your grandfather's reverse mortgage. This just may be the finest financial planning strategy available for all homeowners of retirement age. Helping protect what you've earned is the job of your board of directors with continued education. Major research has shown that using a HECM will significantly enhance the success rate of a retiree's portfolio and legacy. Please allow us to educate. For your complimentary consultation, call Jay Kaplan at 949-300-3855. That's 949-300-3855.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL team.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990, 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869445.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment including principal and interest of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,800 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. Over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Do you own real estate or have assets over $150,000? Do you know one of your heirs will be the probate courts and the IRS? If you don't have a living trust, you will go through probate. Call Heritage Financial Services toll free at 1-855-434-7400 for a free review. Check us out on Facebook, Heritage Financial Service in Lake Forest, California. That's 1-855-434-7400. Again, 1-855-434-7400.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, maybe it's your first mortgage, maybe you're downsizing, right-sizing, getting that bigger house. Gold Star has all the programs that you could possibly want. Give us a call. We will help you get together with them. Get it taken care of. Can't pay your student loan bill? Here's what to do. If you can't afford that student bill, don't blow it off. There are steps you can take that may save you from financial ruin. There are more options than you may realize. according to the Consumer Federation of America. Not paying can severely damage your credit report. Going into default, which happens after 270 days of not paying a federal student loan bill, and even sooner for private student loans, can make it harder to qualify for a mortgage, credit card, or prevent you from renting a place to live. And if you have a federal loan, the government can pull money from your paychecks, tax refunds, or Social Security benefits to get you to pay it back. Here's what you need to do if you can't pay your student loan bill. Number one, pick up the phone, call the company that collects your student loan payments and let them know you're having trouble coming up with the cash to pay your bills. Student loan servicers have been accused by regulators of giving out wrong or incomplete information to borrowers. You don't have to make a decision during the call. Hang up, do some research on your own, and figure out a plan, says from the publisher of Student Aid from CapEx website. Try lowering payments. If you have a federal student loan, you may qualify what is known as the income-driven repayment plan, which can make your monthly payment more affordable. Monthly payments can be reduced to 10%, 15%, or 20% of your discretionary income. Call your student loan servicer to apply or do it through their website. To see which income-driven repayment plans you may be eligible for, use the Education Department's online estimator tool at studentloans.gov/mydirectloan. Give me a call. I'll tell you what it is. Lenders of private loans, unlike federal student loans, are not obligated to offer a more affordable payment plan, but some student loan experts say it is worth asking anyway. Postponing payments. Options called deferment and forbearance will temporarily postpone payments. To defer a federal student loan, you'll need to prove economic hardship or unemployment. With this option, the government may pay the interest your loan accrues during the deferment. Forbearance is for those who don't qualify for deferments but still can't make payments. Interest will still accrue, increasing your loan amount. Private student loan lenders may or may not offer deferment or forbearance options. You'll need to ask, and some may charge fees to do so. If you already defaulted on your student loan, you still have a chance to clean up your credit history. Call the student loan servicer who can put you on a repayment plan. After several months of payments, the default can be removed from your credit history. Private student loan lenders do not have to offer this. Never pay for help. All this can be done for free. So stay away from the companies that offer to help you with student loan repayment plans or other services for a fee. There again, if you don't have the time to do it, maybe you're working all the hours that they're open. You may want, again, it's never bad you want to minimize your expenses, of course, but don't be stupid about it. You may end up saying, okay, well, it's beneficial to me. I'm going to go in default, or I can pay somebody else. It's kind of like the student loan forms, the FAFSA forms. There are some folks that just fight through that form, and there's others that say, you know something, there's service providers out there that'll do it, that have done many, many of these forms. They know what they're doing, and they can do it for a much lower price than what you may already be scheduled to pay. So it might be worth your while. That is the Word on Wealth segment, again brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage. So we were chatting earlier about the blended interest rates. That's what we've been chatting about today. Blended household interest rates. What is that? What does it mean? What does it mean to your family? So the concept here is that you got to understand what your family's total interest is before you can actually make an educated decision. So we shared with you before the idea of this 3.75% interest on a $400,000 home, and raising that interest up to 4.25% can still be beneficial for you. You may find that at 4.25%, you're able, if your household blended rate, again, we used this number before, 3.75 was your home loan rate, but that's irrelevant to what your household blended rate is. So your blended rate, I talk about this number, the Benjamin Franklin rate. What does that mean? Well, the Benjamin Franklin number is always going to be the same thing. It's how many dollars have to come out of your pocket at the end of the month to make the program work. So if we're talking about all these different debts that we were just sharing earlier, in this scenario, the blended rate came out to 4.87. Significantly more than what a new loan would be at 4.25. And again, that most of that 4.87 is not deductible interest. We're looking at saying, okay, well, what if you can deduct it? Again, you got to talk to your tax people. But if you can deduct it, you may be better off there too. Think about, these are all the issues that we want you to understand. And again, what does it cost you to make a phone call to the team at 800-306-1990 and find out what your blended household interest rate might be? And as always, I suggest to you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items that are affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.